Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's Yowie here. Today I'm going to bring you an exclusive series to YouTube, Madden 23 franchise. We're going to get right into it. I'm going to do a fantasy draft so the team doesn't matter, but I'll kind of walk you through how I draft my team typically, and we'll go from there. Okay, so like I said, team doesn't matter. I'm gonna pick the Colts because that's my favorite team. We'll start with them, but at the end of the day, we're gonna be doing a fantasy draft, so that doesn't matter. So these are the settings that I'm going to be going with. We're gonna play on All Pro and Simulation. Um, we're gonna keep all these on. Keep all that on. We're actually gonna turn up the X factors. I like to have as many as I can. Same with dev. For star development, I'll increase it as well. Quarter length, I don't want to make this super long, so we'll do 7 minutes with accelerated clock. Do all this. Don't need tutorials. All right, let's get into this draft. Let's see where we pick. There are a few things that I'm going to change when we get in here. Okay, so if you come all the way over here to options and then franchise settings and you go to gameplay sliders, in years past, injuries have always been the most annoying part. I feel like people get injured way too easily. Oh, they actually turned it down to 25. I still think I'm gonna turn that down to like 15. Um, I'm gonna keep all these other ones the same. I just like to turn injuries down that way. There's still injuries, but they're not as prevalent. All right, now we're back here. Let's start this fantasy draft and see where we pick at. So I have the 25th pick. We'll go ahead and we'll make our selection. I typically like to alternate my picks, so I'll start with an offensive player and then go defense. I can I have a little bit of leeway. Um, so for here, we're gonna look and see, like, Nick Chubb is a pretty good back. I think after looking, I'm just gonna take Nick Chubb. I'm gonna go back and pause this timer, that way I'm not rushed. But there's our first round pick. Okay, with my second round pick, I have the 8th pick, so I'm gonna take Vita Vea. Get some defensive help right out of the gate. That's probably one of the more important positions. With my third pick, I'm actually going to take Denzel Ward. He's a cornerback. It's another defensive player, but he's only 25, so I can get 3-4 years out of him and then ship him off. But I like that he's young and he's 92 overall already with star development. Hopefully, we can develop him into something more. Okay, so for my fourth round pick, I'm going to take DeAndre Hopkins. He's 30 years old, but that's okay. That gives us a little bit of age. He's 95 overall. He's star. I can develop him if I need to. Probably won't. But I can get a couple other young receivers that maybe I can develop to fill in behind him. And then, yeah, we can go from there. Okay, with my fifth round pick, I believe, I'm going to take my quarterback. Hopefully, it's my franchise quarterback. I'm going to take Jalen Hurts here. He is only a 75 overall, but he's 24 years old, so I can develop him. Um, Hopefully, I do well enough with him to where he gets a couple of breakouts and I can get that development trade up quicker. But for now, this is who I'm riding with. We'll see how he does. For the next pick, I'm taking a defensive player. I'm going to take Hassan Reddick, 27 years old, not ideal. He's a little bit older. I won't get very much out of him. He's 82 and 82 overall, but he won't be bad for us. It'll give us time to draft another linebacker or two. Okay, we're going into pick 7, round 7. Um, One thing I didn't mention is over here on the left hand side where it says your offensive needs, defensive needs. I really only draft until each one of those has a letter grade to them. So mainly that's first and second strings. I don't really care about third, fourth, fifth strings. I let the CPU do that, and I'll deal with it later. But for now, we're just gonna draft until each of those has a letter grade. Okay, so for my next pick, I'm gonna have to go O line here. He's 30 years old. He's the best available left guard. I've always felt like in Madden games, the linemen have always played well into their 30s and they're always valued. So taking him at 30 years old isn't the end of the world, and he's star development. So it's kind of a benefit. Okay, so for my next pick, after doing a little bit of looking, I think Sebastian Joseph Day is going to be my next pick. He's 27. Again, I can get a couple more years out of him before I have to. I feel like I have to get rid of him and upgrade. So that'll give me time to draft somebody. He's 81 overall with star development, so not horrible. I might even go and draft a younger player and see how he turns out. But for now, this is going to be the starting left end. Okay, with my next pick, I'm going offense. I like Hunter Renfro here. He's 26. He'll be my second wide receiver. 85 overall with star development. I feel like I can get that development up before he's 28, even 27, and get a couple good years out of him before, again, I feel like I need to step it up. But yeah, I like him in this spot. Okay, next pick. I think I just might have kind of found a steal. Full safety, 81 overall, star development, Xavier McKinney. He is only 24 years old, so I can get a lot of years out of him. I don't have to worry about this position for a couple of seasons. Um, but yeah, I really like where he is at, so I think I'm going to take him. Okay, with my next pick, like I said with that other O lineman, I don't care about O lineman age because I feel like they play well into their 30s. So Taylor Lewin, 81 overall star, 31 years old. That's okay. I like him. We're just gonna take him. Really, my biggest goal is to find young players who are 80 and above that I can develop. For example, Jawan Bentley. He's 26 years old and 80 overall, and he has normal development. I kind of think that I would take him here, but I want to explore my options and see what other middle linebackers, how old the other ones are. Okay, so yeah, after looking at it, the other two middle linebackers that are like 80 plus, they're 29 years old. I like Jawan better just because he's a little bit younger. Maybe if they're still there, I'll come back and grab them in a later round. But for now, I just want to take him. Okay, for my next pick, I'm picking center Mitch Morse. There was a better center. He was like an 80 or an 81 overall, but he's 33. So at that point, I'd much rather go 3 years younger for one overall less. To me, that's going to help me out much better. So we're going to take him. Okay, my next pick, I'm going to go with a defensive back, DJ Reed Jr., 25 years old, 81 overall, normal development. Hopefully, we can develop him into something more. He'll be our second defensive back. I think after this, I'm going to look for a speed guy and another young corner that I can put on the team. That way, I know I at least have those two bases covered. Okay, my next pick, I'm going to go with the right tackle, George Fant, 76 overall, normal development, 30 years old. Like I've said, I can worry about this in a little bit, but for now, this is who I want. Okay, my next pick, Trey Hendrickson, 85 overall, 27 years old, normal development, which sucks, but I think for here at it with an 85 overall at 27, that's kind of a steal almost because we don't have to worry about him, hopefully, and we can get somebody young in the next draft or two. All right, next pick, we're going right guard, Gabe Jackson, 78 overall, normal development, age 31. Okay, my next pick, I'm going right outside linebacker, Tyus Bowser, 77 overall. Normal development, he's 27, but that gives me a couple of years to worry about it in the next few drafts. Okay, next pick, I'm going tight end. I don't use this position much as far as throwing, mainly just pass blocking. Um, but why not bring a familiar face back? We're going to bring Mo Alley Cox back. 75 overall, 28 years old with normal development. We'll bring him back. Might as well. Okay, so after doing a little bit of looking, I need a strong safety. There's really nobody good. Um, Tony Jefferson is 30. He's over 30. He's over 30. I'm just gonna take best available and then search for somebody young. I at least want a good, decent, competent starter. So we're gonna go with Adrian Phillips here, but we'll come back. We'll see if we can get somebody who's young but still has good upside. So now we're kind of in the point in the draft where I have just about every position filled, and some have grades, some do not. I'm just going to go through and start from the top. I, I'll correct myself. I'm going to start at wide receiver and then go defensive back. And then I'm going to start from the top and kind of work my way down just to kind of fill those positions as needed. Um, that way I can get a grade for all of those. And then I'm going to simulate. But yeah, I think my first wide receiver that I'm going to pick up that's probably a little strange is going to be Calvin Austin. He's a 70 overall with normal development, but he's 23 and he has 95 speed. So that could prove to be really good, and I can use him to stretch the field when needed. Okay, kind of same as the last pick. I'm going to pick this defensive back, 71 overall, 23 years old, normal development. Uh, but the main reason is he has 97 speed, so he's going to be able to keep up, hopefully, with people like Tyreek and Jalen Waddle and all those fast people. So let's draft him. All right, chat. I know this is a little weird, but I'm gonna pick this 59 overall quarterback. He's a scrambler. He's 22. I'm gonna try to develop him. I have Jalen Hurts, so I don't really need anybody else. But I will take Brock Purdy just to be safe. All right, next player I'm taking. I'm just gonna take Kyle Juszczyk, 87 overall, 31 star development. He's a fullback. Whatever. I can just slide in a tight end if he gets hurt, but again, not a position I really use. Tight end, I'm going to take Ian Thomas, 72 overall, 26 years old with normal development. I can just, he's depth. Okay, next player I'm going to take is Daquan Jones, defensive tackle, 75 overall, age 30 with normal development. This is the last player I need before my kicker and punter. For kicker, you already know we have to take the GOAT, Justin Tucker, right? You already know we have to take it. Okay, and then for my last pick, I'm going to take punter AJ Cole, 84 overall, 26 years old. Okay, so as you can see on the left-hand side where it says offensive needs, every single one of those is filled. If you look where it says defensive needs, everyone has a letter grade, and the special teams one has a letter grade. So with that, I am going to simulate the rest of the fantasy draft to the end, and then from there we're going to take a look at our team and we'll go from there. All right, draft is done. Let's go take a look at our team real quick. Starting with our quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts, 24 years old. He's got to be our quarterback of the future. We'll take a look at running backs. Two decent running backs. Dearness Johnson and Nick Chubb. They're the same age, but we got a couple young guys. Maybe they step up. Fullback, who cares? Wide receiver, we got DeAndre Hopkins, we got Hunter Renfro, we got Tyrell Williams, Greg Ward, Calvin Austin, and Lynn Bowden. Tight ends, we got those three tight ends I drafted, two tight ends I drafted, I'm sorry. But we'll make do. Left tackles, we got an old and a young guy. That's good. Left guard, you got one. Center, you got one. Right tackle, you have two. Young guy and a little bit older, maybe we don't have to worry about that position. Right tackle, okay. Defense, got three good left ends. Not good, but three left ends. We got two right ends. Oh, look at that. Alquadine Muhammad. Vita Vea. Al Woods. Daquan Jones. Hassan Ridgeway. Honestly, this team isn't looking horrible. Obviously, it's how the user plays, but I'm not too worried about what I'm seeing. Should have turned off existing injuries, but that's okay. Get two good corners. Full safeties, strong safeties, and then kicker and the punter. So yeah, well, that's gonna be the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed the draft, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. This is only the first episode, so we just went through the draft, but in the next couple, we're gonna be running through some games, seeing if we can make it to that Super Bowl, seeing if we can make it, and seeing how far this team can take us. Peace out.